Hossam was a successful businessman. He believed that success came to those who worked hard and that anyone seeking help simply hadn't tried hard enough. He always said with confidence, "Anyone who works hard will never need help from others." One evening he left his luxurious office, his steps firm, his gaze reflecting certainty. He knew how the world worked, or so he thought. Near the sidewalk, a young man sat on the curb, exhaustion visible on his face. His eyes scanned the passers-by as if searching for someone to talk to, but hesitating. The young man, his voice quiet. "Excuse me, may I ask you something?" Hossam paused, glanced at him with a cold expression, then replied, "If you're looking for money, there's plenty of work for those who want it." The young man smiled politely, shaking his head. "I'm not asking for money, I'm looking for a job. I lost mine recently, and I've been trying to find a new opportunity, but no one has given me the time to explain." A brief silence. Hossam looked away, then shook his head. "The world doesn't wait for anyone. You have to find your own way." He turned away, got into his car, shut the door, and drove off, leaving the young man watching as the car disappeared into the city's bustle. Days passed, fortunes changed. A sudden financial crisis shook Hossam's company. The once thriving business was now in turmoil, employees whispering anxiously, stock values plummeting, difficult decisions being made. One by one, branches closed, and the wealth he once boasted about faded. Now he found himself searching for a new path. Weeks later, he stood outside a towering corporate building, took a deep breath, and stepped inside for a job interview. Sitting in the waiting area, he adjusted his tie, trying to steady his thoughts. His name was called. He rose, walked toward the office, opened the door, and froze in place. Sitting at the executive desk was the young man he had once ignored. The CEO, now calm and composed, smiled. "CEO, it seems we've met before, haven't we?" Hossam swallowed hard, averting his gaze for a moment before looking back at the CEO, struggling to find the right words. The CEO continued, his voice steady. "I've learned something in life. People go through difficult times, and sometimes all they need is an opportunity, or even just a word of encouragement. Some choose to extend a helping hand, others turn their backs." Regret flickered in Hossam's eyes. He finally understood. Leaving the company after the interview, he walked through the crowded streets, observing people differently this time. On a street corner, another young man sat, looking hesitant, uncertain whether to ask for help. Hossam slowed his steps, paused for a moment, then approached, sat beside him, and smiled. "Hossam, tell me, what are you looking for?" The scene fades out as life continues its cycle. Message: helping others isn't just about giving money. Sometimes it's about offering an opportunity, listening, or simply showing respect. Life turns in unexpected ways. One day you are strong. The next, you may be the one in need.